sophomore slump that everybody here in Broncos country is hoping that Bo can avoid, that the Broncos are hoping Bo can avoid. And there are a few factors that go into avoiding said sophomore slump. We're going to go over them. It's a conversation that was on YouTube with Max Brown, did a nice breakdown of it, talking about second-year quarterback struggling, and well over 50% of second-year quarterbacks over the span of 15 years have been worse in year 2 than they were in year 1. So if we're looking at the 6 quarterbacks that were selected in round 1 last year, well, 4 of them are going to take a step back this year, while 2 of them either maintain or continue to improve and excel, like we watched Bo Nix do throughout his rookie year. Environment and coaches are the first one here, Cecil.
Yeah.
Kind of what's around him.
Yeah.
And that's a big check for Bo Nix. It's what we've talked about. It's something that Bo said. He only talked the one time during OTAs, right? And it was the first week. And he said it during that first week. Hey, this is going to be the first time since I was 17 years old that I get a quarterback coach and a play caller to come back with me in consecutive seasons. And I would lean on you for this, Cecil. They're going to change a few things. There'll be some tweaks and changes, and terminology may change a bit. But like the blueprint, the foundation has already been poured, and Bo, Sean, and Davis are all on the same page.
Yeah, they're all on the same page, and they are ready to take it to the next step. They are ready to take the next step in terms of debuting the actual Sean Payton offense. Again, not only did we not see Bo Nix last year, because we didn't see Bo Nix last year. Point blank period. It was not Bo Nix. It was a rookie with one weapon.
Yeah.
Now you have Bo Nix, year 2, just playing football, not thinking about all the footwork, being able to slice you up pre-snap, and he's got J.K. Dobbins, and he's got R.J. Harvey, and Court's still there, and Evan Ingram's there, and Pat Bryant, and Marvin Mims, and Devon Vele, and Troy Franklin. You get the point?
Yeah.
But not only did we not see Bo Nix, we didn't see Sean Payton's offense. I'm not going to bore everyone with sale concepts, but the foundation of what Drew Brees did in New Orleans. Got another New Orleans story for you. Hey, George, have you heard me talk about sale concepts yet, George?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. The sale concepts weren't there. The counter plays weren't there. Anything that Sean Payton did in New Orleans, he couldn't really do because he didn't have the guys to do it. Now he does.
They literally didn't run counter plays.
Yes, so not only are we going to see Bo Nix, almost his debut, what this guy can do with a real team around him, we're going to see Sean Payton get back to what he does best, and that's tricking the defense, tripping up the defense, and attacking the defense at all levels of the field. And that's what Bo Nix can do.
So he's good there with environment and coaches. The examples given were like Mac Jones and Baker Mayfield. Mac got a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator, and Baker got a guy that had never called plays before, and that's ultimately what led to his departure there in Cleveland. And now look at what he's doing.
Right.
He is one of the top-tier quarterbacks in the entire NFL. I know he plays in a crappy division, and that's how they punched their ticket to the playoffs, but Baker isn't the problem there with the Buccaneers. Bo is going to be in good hands with Davis, in good hands with Sean Payton, and as we always talk about with Bo, the main thing's always the main thing. This dude is a football player first, second, and third, and there's no distractions around him. So that is going to play into the hand of Bo not having a sophomore slump. Another thing that was talked about was overhyping. And a guy kind of starting to feel themselves a little bit too early. I don't know that Bo Nix is ever going to be that guy, honestly. His dad's a football player. I think you've said this a couple times, Cecil, and it's something that it's not going to be the first thing you think of when you talk about Bo Nix, but it goes into who he is today, and I think who he will continue to be, especially as a successful quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
His struggles at Auburn, dude, that's the most humbling thing a young man can have. When that last name, Nix, meant what it meant in that community, and I mean, look, I think Bo would say this. He failed there, right? He certainly wasn't his father, and then you have to kind of pick up the pieces and go, oh, I got to fix it over here. So he was looked at as a bust early on.
Right.
There's still people in this business that don't believe he's going to be a successful quarterback now. There's no overhyping of Bo Nix, and I don't think he would smell his own you-know-what anyway if he had that in front of him.
No, he wouldn't do that because he knows how, well, this is going to kind of hurt. I feel like Martin Lawrence and Blue Streak. This is going to hurt a little bit. Fans will turn on you like that.
Oh, yeah.
Auburn fans, super excited about him, right? His dad's a legend. His dad was undefeated at Auburn. Legend. He shows up, fans excited, then they turn on him because Bo is struggling. Oregon fans, real good fans, Oregon Trey shout out, and he had great success there. But he knows that fandom can change. You start throwing, if he has a 3-interception game, which I don't think he will, but if he did, he'd probably hear some boo birds. And it doesn't mean Broncos fans are bad or whatever. It's just fans. You're mad. You're upset. And Bo's not going to ride the high, and he's not going to ride the low. He's going to know that there's a wave to this thing, and he's just going to be steady through that wave. I think being steady is one of his greatest assets, and it comes from the 61 starts in college, because his 61 starts in college and the amount of passing attempts that he had, the amount of struggles that he had at Auburn, how he basically had a coaching staff that didn't really put what they needed to around him. They had a wrong scheme around him. I've talked to people around that Auburn team that were like, we did Bo wrong. Like, Bo got the blame, but we did Bo wrong in terms of setting things up for him. Oregon, it was perfect for him, and that's why he had success. Sean Payton, what's the dirty secret in the NFL?
It's fit.
It's fit. These guys fit. So fitting together, moving forward, and also, if you were smelling your own stink, let's just say that. Not Mark Schlereth, but stink.
Yeah.
If you were smelling that, wouldn't Sean Payton put you in check? If you're getting a little big for your britches,
especially
wouldn't
this
Sean
soon.
Payton, you know, second-year quarterback, he's feeling it. Maybe he's got some commercials. Let's just put it this way. If a Josh Allen was with Sean Payton and not Sean McDermott, who I don't think is a very good head coach, and there's questions about him as a person, if you had Sean Payton with Josh Allen, wouldn't Josh be better? Because it'd be like, what are you doing going to these parties with Deion Dawkins? What are you doing with all these commercials? You haven't won anything. The Bills haven't won a damn thing. They haven't even got to the Super Bowl. At least Joe Burrow's gotten to a Super Bowl. But I think Sean Payton is that ultimate check. One, maybe he needs to check himself sometimes.
I was gonna say, if anybody's going to be celebrating, it's going to be me.
It's going to be me. I am the one. I discovered electricity. That's Sean Payton. So I think just having Sean there with him, and just Bo being the personality that Bo is. He's not going to get too high with the high, not going to get too low with the lows.
The other thing that was talked about in this video was being – now this was specific to Jayden Daniels, although Bo did make it to the playoffs, but we know how that movie ended and the Broncos pretty much got their butts whooped. He talked about how a young quarterback – and maybe this is something that Bo then – you know, let's say they start hot. Let's say they're 4-1 coming out of the gate. And maybe that one loss is the Chargers game. Right? And they beat the Bengals on Monday Night Football. Yep. They go to Philly and play at 11 a.m. and beat the defending Super Bowl champions. People will start to talk about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos at 4-1. And then how do these young quarterbacks handle being hunted as opposed to the hunter with an unknown that you're even coming? Because that's who Jayden Daniels was a year ago. I know a lot of people had high expectations for the kid, but to take and carry your team to the NFC Championship, I don't know anybody that had those. So he was coming at you as the hunter, but you didn't even know he was there chasing you down. That's not the case for Jayden Daniels anymore. I would still say that Bo Nix is not the hunted. He's still the hunter. And you could probably say that about every one of those 6 quarterbacks outside of Jayden Daniels. But I think Bo achieves it sooner than Caleb Williams, sooner than Drake May, sooner than Michael Penix Jr., and definitely sooner than J.J. McCarthy. How does he handle it? I think it goes back to how we started this conversation. His mentals are never going to be the problem.
Yeah, the mentals are always going to be there, and he's not going to read his own press clippings, basically, and know that until he hoists the Lombardi Trophy, and even then, like one's not enough for Bo, and I don't think it's enough for Sean Payton. I don't think it's enough for Greg Penner. Like, the demand to have multiple championships is there. Now, the ability, it's questionable right now. Do they have the ability to get there? Okay, that's a great debate. We can have that conversation. But in terms of being okay with one ring, but you got to get there first. And they know they don't want to be the Baltimores, the Buffaloes, where you just, hey, we're really good, guys. What have you won? Nothing. Yeah, all right. And facing Kansas City, honestly, I can't stand the Chiefs. Can't stand anything about them. Respect the hell out of Pat Mahomes. But that's a team that in your own division, they're going to be the ultimate measuring stick because they are the guys that have been there. They've been the guys that have been keeping Buffalo from there, keeping Baltimore from there. And they're in your own neighborhood. So playing against those guys twice a year, even if they're not what they used to be or Travis Kelce 100 years old or whatever, I think that's a great test for the Broncos to have because that's a team that does have the skins on the wall.
Of the 6 quarterbacks that were selected last year, who am I forgetting here? Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix.
Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I said Caleb. Caleb, Drake, Penix. Jayden. There we go. Duh.
He's hard to forget.
Yeah. That was just for Kevin right there. I mean, look, I don't know that Caleb Williams is going to come in and tear up the league now that Ben Johnson is in control. I think there's some adjustment period.
He's still a couple years away.
Still a couple years away. I think that's very fair. Drake May seems to be the flavor of the week, just so hot right now around the NFL. I think he's going to be good, but I still don't think the New England Patriots have the horses around him to really take the next step. And don't give me the Stephon Diggs nonsense. That's not the answer.
No.
There's questions about Bo's weapons, but at least there's 6 or 7 questions.
Right.
There's one in New England, and his name's Stephon Diggs. And we've seen that movie in the way it ends every single time. Michael Penix Jr., I like the kid. I think you like the kid. He has a couple potential weapons, but what is he going to do with it in year 2? And I think there's some fair questions about that coaching staff too. J.J. McCarthy, he has the best weapon, and I don't think anybody's going to pick him to be the guy that takes the biggest step in year number 2.
Right. So if we look at potential sophomore slums, it's really Jayden and Bo. Because Caleb has a new system, and
that
it's
can
pretty
avoid
much
him, you mean?
Yeah. Or that will be potentially there. Because if Penix sophomore slumps, it's like, okay, what did he play? Half the year last year? Like, yeah, he's still learning.
That.
He's still growing. And I do believe in that Zach Robinson offense because it's a Shanahan system. And shout out Zach and Chatfield Chargers out there, as we all should be. But I look at those 2 quarterbacks as really the only ones that are have the capability of having a sophomore slump. Because Caleb, it's new. Because JJ, he's just getting to play. Because Penix played half his rookie season or whatever the number was. And if you want to throw in Drake May as flavor of the month, that's fine. Here's the problem with Drake May. He's always been his own problem. He plays hero ball.
Why is everyone on his jock then?
Because he plays hero ball, has a big arm, and can run. That's it. People look at the physical skill set with Drake May, look at the mental side, and then look at the fit there. Okay? What is the mental side of a guy that's always played hero ball? Do those guys stop?
No.
Did Jay Cutler ever stop playing hero ball?
No.
That's what they do. So Drake May's biggest problem is Drake May.
Brett Favre made a nice career out of it, but there was still a bunch of boneheaded decisions made by Brett Favre being the hero.
Much to my chagrin, this ain't the 90s anymore, baby.
Yeah,
These defenses are much more sophisticated. Brett Favre didn't even know what a nickel defense was.
By the way, you know the 90s kid on Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah, he's our guy.
And he has like 3 million followers. He shared last night, there's like a 90s cruise coming up, and he's a huge 90s guy, obviously.
Right.
And he is like giving away trips to a 90s cruise. As soon as I thought, I was like, man, that might be fun for Cecil and I to go on.
Possibly us.
Like a 90s cruise. We're just playing Pogs the whole time. Freaking, you know what I mean? You're wearing
JNCOs
with one down. Like
I would go
JNCOs.
More early 90s. I would wear parachute pants.
Okay.
Very comfortable.
What were the
Lots
other
of
ones?
zippers.
Zumbas?
Yeah, Zumbas.
Zumbas? Those were cool forever, too.
Yeah.
Dude, a 90s cruise?
Wear some flannel?
Yes. Listening to like Eminem's first album, a little bit of Crisscross. It'd be fun
some
for
Pearl
us.
Jam.
Little Pearl Jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got to get on that 90s cruise.
We got to hit up our guy, the 90s kid.
Got to get him on the show, too. Maybe we butter him up a little bit to get a free thing.
We can do the show on a boat, right?
Heck yeah, we can. They have internet.
They got
there.
internet.
That'd be sweet.
Neuralink or Satellite link, whatever.
Some sort of link. I do want to talk about what went down last night, but as I found out last segment, Kevin and Cecil found their love life way sooner than I did. Kindergarten for those guys. And now I'm learning that a lot of people were getting after it. My first kiss was in preschool, someone said. Preschool.
Okay.
In first grade, I asked Audrey Oxley to marry me.
There you go.
First grade. And then we also, from our buddy Nate, he says, April was so hot, pretty sure that's when I started digging redheads.
Yes, April O'Neil, everybody.
That's the last name. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Ask the comic book guy.
And
you have any questions?
Didn't her and Casey Jones have like a little thing on the side?
Yeah.
See, Casey Jones, I was always like, man, do I actually like him better than the Ninja Turtles? But I felt dirty.
I'm going to get a hockey stick and a mask.
Hell
Go out
yeah.
and fight crime.
Sounds awesome, dude. Yeah. Big Al says, Pogs and Jinko jeans? Hell no, I lived it once. So you don't know what you're missing then, Big Al. That's what that whole boat would be full of, is a little Pogs and Janko jeans. All right, so we feel good that it's not a big problem or a big concern that Bo Nix may be having a sophomore slump. We've projected his numbers, and we're about 4,000 yards, a little bit north. We're still around 30, 35 touchdowns if you want to throw the rushing in there, and I think he still lives around 10, 12 interceptions. That's what Bo's going to do. That's not a sophomore slump. That's a slight step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction, and it's a step towards more postseason success, because that's where the eyes are for this team. And if there is some sort of struggling in year number 2, it can come with postseason success, much like C.J. Stroud. But based on the factors of why quarterbacks struggle, people throw around sophomore slump like it's just some sort of, everybody knows why there's sophomore slumps. No, it's coaching changes. It's believing your own hype. It's some sort of, a play caller situation. When you have the consistency that Bo Nix has had from last year to this year, that predicts potential success in year 2. Not a slump. Anything can happen. Anything's possible. KG said that. But what the fact of the matter is Bo Nix doesn't have the factors lining up against him to lead to that sophomore slump. Others do. And by others, I mean Jayden Daniels.
Okay.
He's gonna struggle this year, and I don't want anyone slandering the name of Jayden Daniels. We do not do that on this show, Kevin.
What do you mean by slump, though?
He'll have more interceptions. He'll probably have less rushing yards. He needs to. One, he's a little guy.
Well, he set a single-season rookie record for rushing yards.
Exactly. So he had damn near 1,000 yards on the ground. So he's got to cut that back.
I should have asked it better. His slump leads to the Commanders being...
His slump leads to the Commanders potentially English, potentially missing the playoffs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, if Dak's healthy, don't the Cowboys they have to do something, right? I mean, they talk about it all the time.
I don't think
the Eagles are going to be top of that division. The Giants are going to stink.
Mm-hmm. I think the Cowboys will stink too.
And then if you look at the rest of the NFC, like the Commanders are going to be maybe in a squeeze that I don't feel the Broncos are in that squeeze.
But
right?
I think Minnesota's taking a step back. I don't believe in Dallas. I still think you're looking at Philly, Washington, Detroit. Like, those are your top-tier NFC teams.
Okay.
Maybe Washington's on the bottom of that list with Jayden taking a step back.
Okay. Well, we're going to see how it plays out, but we can't just say, and this goes for football and life, not everything's going to stay the same.
Exactly.
We think, the Commanders are always going to be there. No, they didn't do enough around Jayden. And their number one receiver is holding out. Not holding in, holding out.
And their number 2 receiver is Lil Portly. We all saw the video of Debo Samuel.
Debo is pretty portly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a situation to watch out for. The aging weapons around Jayden Daniels, they didn't do enough.
By the way, somebody wants us to know that it's Zubas, not Zumbas. Zumbas is the fitness dance, and Zuba is the pants that you wear. We don't know, man. One letter off. Zumba, I believe that was... Kelsey did it every day while we were in Mexico.
Okay.
And I got dragged to it twice. Where, like, you're doing, let me make sure I get this right, Zumba in the ocean. And it's basically just a weird dance.
You did Zumba in the ocean?
Yeah.
Well, you can't see anything.
What do you mean?
Well, part of the Zumba is like the swinging my hips.
Well, no,
right?
the lady that was instructing us was on the beach.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
and she could really move. I was just trying to not embarrass myself mostly. And I'm sure that didn't work.
Okay. All right.
But, a couple morning mimosas, you'll get out there and do a little
I was going to say, what's the inebriation level during the Zumba class?
2 or 3 mimosas for breakfast.
That's good. Put you in the right spot.
Get out there.
Right?
And then after, you're like, ooh, I actually do feel limber.
I can actually dance.
Back wouldn't hurt the way it did today if I did Zumba this morning. So it's my fault. I screwed this up.